Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about your ecological footprint and what that means to you. An ecological footprint is a measure of how much a person impacts their environment. It measures to the extent which resources are used faster than they can regenerate. On average, a person has about 4.5 acres of available land on Earth. Basically, if you take everybody on Earth and you would divide up all the land that's there, each person on Earth would equate to about 4.5 acres of available land. So people in the West are more developed and have a higher ecological footprint than people in the East. Basically, people in our neck of the woods use a little bit more resources than people in other places in the world. We are used to a higher custom of life, and that demands a little bit more energy and other resources than other places do. Here you can see in which areas use more resources and have a higher ecological footprint. If you notice, North America here is quite a bit higher than other places such as Brazil, places in Africa, and places in Asia. I know several of you will probably ask, I apologize for the brief interruption. You can never tell when the announcements are going to go off. As I was saying, you can see here how America is a little bit squished. I know a lot of you are going to ask that question. Basically, the answer for this is, the world is round. If you were to take this 2D model and kind of scrunch it up, that's why it looks like this. You can see the countries have been stretched to indicate their effective consumption based off of 2005 data. Okay, a guy named William Rees calculated that if developed nations work together, we could easily reduce our ecological footprint. So these are things that we want to try to do to decrease both our ecological footprint and thusly our carbon footprint, which is what we'll talk about in the next activity. We don't want to use cars unless they're necessary. So eliminate unneeded driving. This will reduce the emissions from your car. We want to insulate our homes, thusly keeping our power bills down because it keeps your home warmer longer and cooler longer in the summer. Grow your own food. This decreases the demand on agriculture and other energy resources. If you think, if I go to the grocery store, how does that impact it? Well, the grocery store has to use more energy. The grocery store has to use more energy to keep these things cool and refrigerated. Also, we want to recycle, which is another big thing that we'll talk about later on in this unit. As we highlighted, don't drive whenever possible. You can do things like ride bikes. Burning gas gives off carbon dioxide, which we've already talked about in the last unit, is a significant contributor to greenhouse gases and the greenhouse effect. And in doing this, we can, there's a good chance that we could reduce your footprint by about 20%. Growing our vegetables and don't waste food. That's kind of something that my parents always told me was don't waste your food, eat everything on your plate. This can reduce your ecological footprint by about 11%. Growing fruits and vegetables reduces waste associated with refrigerating and packaging in grocery stores and agricultural processing. Make your homes more energy efficient. Insulation, double glazing. This is things to keep the heat in and the heat out in the summer, heat in the winter, the cool in the summer, and the hot out in the summer. Insulating your homes, like we said, will reduce the need for more energy, and in the long run will save you money, which is when you get older, your power bill will be something that you will want to keep low. Effectively, you can turn your thermostat down about 4 degrees and save about 5% off a home's ecological footprint, and once again, save on your power bill. If your home is well insulated, then usually there's no need to turn your thermostat up at all. Reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 R's, guys. Always reduce, reuse, recycle. There are several things that can be recycled. You're learning about that now during your recycling art project. Avoid overpackaged products when shopping. Look for things that aren't necessarily wrapped in cellophane and then plastic and then cardboard and all of these extra materials that aren't really needed. And then donated unwanted items to charity. Things like your clothes that you've outgrown, or recycle your cell phones and the batteries in them. Don't just throw them away. That's it for today. We will talk more on this subject later.